I just wanted to sit down and have a conversation with you. I think a lot of times when people see you on the stage or they see you in front of the camera or maybe in passing here and there, they get like little glimpses of you, right? Mm-hmm. And I know you say from the stage a lot, you're the same whether you're on stage, whether you're off stage, or whatever you're doing. But I don't think people really understand. And I've had the privilege of, over the last couple of years, being coached and mentored by you and seeing some of the behind the scenes. And you literally are the same, right? You don't change. This is who you are, whether you're in front of a camera or you're not. And it's really I admire the fact that you're able to stay so committed to who you are and how you move regardless. And if you could give everybody a kind of sense of the why and why you move the way you move, how you move the way you move. That doesn't come naturally, I think, to most of us.
Well, I appreciate it. I think what inspires me the most is really just the grace of God. I know that I'm not supposed to be doing what I'm doing. I don't deserve to be on anybody's stage. I don't deserve to be in front of anybody's camera. I'm a double A's orphan, convicted felon, baby daddy, you know what I'm saying? I've made so many mistakes, and so I think for me, staying grounded in who I know I am versus who people think I am. You know what I'm saying? God's grace is ever before me. It's just like every day I wake up, it's like, thank you for the opportunity to serve. Thank you that I get to get out my bed and I have freedom. Like, what could be worse than what I'm supposed to be or where I'm supposed to be? If I have a bad day, or somebody says something unkind, or somebody doesn't appreciate something, or if I mess up, where the worst day in grace is better than the best day out of it. You know what I'm saying? And it's when you know that God has blessed you with purpose, that joy turns into acts of service. You know what I'm saying? As purpose-filled leader, chosen, living in purpose, the things that we get an opportunity to work on, I really see them as an opportunity versus I have to. You know what I'm saying? You hear me say this all the time. I don't got to serve, I get to serve. And just always remembering purpose is a privilege. Like it ain't about the title or the paycheck, or it's about people. Like the greatest amongst us shall serve. I try not to, and you've seen good days, you've seen bad days, but I try to remember that at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's about, can I get somebody else who's in pain, or somebody else who needs an example of God's grace? Can I give them what God gave me? Can I be an example of God to them versus making it about me, taking all God's grace and then using it to get grace from people? Now, we shouldn't need nothing from them. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't need the applause. We shouldn't need the pat on. God has given us what we need. It's our job to take what God has given us and give it back to the people.
No, that's so good. And I think you make it look easy, but I don't, for the average person, we're not able to, it could be more challenging walking it out. Was there any moments in the things that you've gone through that were like, this is pivotal, and you were able to flip the pain from purpose? Because I think a lot of us wait on that, but maybe it's not one specific moment. Maybe it's leading up or something to that effect.
It's a bunch of micro moments. Like, all right, I always say I'm a double A's orphan. Well, let me break that down. At the age of 11, I found out that both my parents are dying. That's a bad day. The average person's bad day, or my bad day, I'm thinking about that. I'm like, they cut me off. I don't have to give them the middle finger. You know what I'm saying? Somebody lied on me. In comparison to what I've been to, what I'm going through, is light work. You know, that moment, I was charged with a federal crime that some people say allegedly that I was right, that I was guilty of, right?
You gotta make sure you think.
Right. I was on tape. My close friends became co-defendants. I'm supposed to be in jail, but I'm free. So that moment, all right. So having a bad day. So even my worst day free is probably then better than my best day in prison, right? So it's like that moment, seeing people put their life on the line for you. That's why I always talk about collaboration. You just can't do what God has called you to do in a silo. The enemy wants you alone, but a cord of three strands isn't easily broken. That's where we get the principle kingdom collaboration from. We don't just pull these things up. This is
Right.
It's a lifestyle. Like these principles have come from my pain, and I'm trying to give them to other people so that their pain can become purpose. It ain't about me. I could care less. Like again, you know me. I prefer to be left alone. I'm introverted. I go to the movies by myself. I take myself out to eat. I don't need it. But again, when God has done something in your life, you're obligated to share it. So I'm sharing it. But seeing the lawyer, Sheila Arnhem, put her life on the line, her career on the line, to tell the judge, I don't need to be in jail, that I need to go free, and seeing them try to persecute her for what she did for me. My mom and dad, my adoptive parents, seeing them leave Kentucky to come to Atlanta. Me and my sister didn't have to go into foster care. How can I be selfish when so many other people sacrificed for me to get to where I am? God's grace. The judge gives me 60 months of probation instead of 60 months in prison. What did I do that night? I got drunk and drove home. You know what I'm saying? I celebrated by, you know what I'm saying? Like, people see me on stage and they think I'm a preacher. No, I'm a person who has been through pain that has something to preach.
That's so good. That's really good.
There's just a bunch of moments. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't pop up in purpose. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for thou art with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Like, life is hard, man. Like life is, my hope is in heaven. This sucks. Even the best day on the planet is nothing to be compared to where we going. This is whack. People are dying. We at war. People selfish. We serve under oftentimes selfish and self-centered leaders. But that's why the kingdom's got to come together. That's why we need to put our light on a stand so we can give light to everybody in the house. We got to stop hiding. We got to stop letting the darkness overtake the light and start chasing away darkness. That's what it's about. I feel like God spared me. Like I was plucked out of the fire. There was nothing I did to earn it. God chose me. Again, none of this stuff is arbitrary. You know what I'm saying? Like everything is well thought out. Chosen. I'm chosen. What I gotta do, like what I need to give up, where I need to go. And my desire is to see every called, chosen person of God living with that same energy. What happens when we pop out for real? What happens when we start believing in who God says we are versus what we've been through and what folk got to say? And screw all of that. What does it look like when we start living like the light? When we like David and we pick up the slingshot. He didn't call Goliath a giant. Everybody else was scared. He said, you an uncircumcised Philistine. There's a big difference between a giant and an uncircumcised Philistine. In other words, David is like, I'm circumcised, meaning I'm a child of God. You uncircumcised. I got the advantage. You think he's a giant. That's why you scared and trembling. I don't see him as a giant. I see that he's nothing because I have God. That's the energy. What kind of giants we start taking out when we start moving like that?
And I think that's so crazy because, like I said, I've been on this journey with you for the last couple of years, and I've seen you, like I've done testimonies of people that you've worked with, and I've seen you interact with people. I go back through your pictures and your videos and the content, and you've literally been doing the same thing for the last 10 years, leading people to purpose. And one of the things that really like everybody says is that you see, I don't know if you see like the God in them or what you see in them, but you call it out and you inspire them to be who God has called them to be. And so I think that's amazing that like almost every testimony that I've taken from somebody for of you being in their life, and if you can speak to maybe why or how you do that.
I see God in people. So the God in me speaks to the God in them. We just did a series, Living in Purpose, right? And every person who has given their life to Christ is not natural, they're supernatural. What I try to do is look through the natural and see what's super in people and just call them up. Like, there's God in you. We're clay vessels, the Bible says, with power in us. Everybody's got a package that you have to deal with, but there's power in it. And we just need to start focusing more on the power versus the package. Again, I know who I am. I know who I am without Christ. I know who I am when I skip devotion. I know who I am when I don't pray. I'm not a good person. You know what I'm saying? I'm a godly person, meaning my flesh is it still impacts me, but on a good day, I can overcome my flesh with the Spirit. When I look at people, I'm not trying to look at their worst mistake or, you know, what they did that embarrassed them. I don't care about that. There's God in you. What we gonna do about it?
And then you talked about giving everybody, or, you know, how we're all called to put our light on a stand. And with the purpose party, is that like a opening to a calling to people to come in and?
Absolutely. I want a bunch of power in the room. You know what I'm saying? I want to call out the power that I believe is in God's people. And when you get God's people together, the sum is greater than their individual parts. We're called the body of Christ. And so when we can come together, all about purpose, productivity, passion, peace, and profit. If I start learning about your purpose and you start learning about my purpose, and I lean into yours and you lean into mine, that we start, I'm dating myself, but there was a cartoon called Voltron. It was 5 little lions that had some power alone, but when it came together, it formed Voltron, and you couldn't stop Voltron. You know what I'm saying? You can't stop the kingdom when we come together.
That's good.
That's what we own.
And today it's Augusta.
Yeah.
Next it's
Atlanta, Africa. We talking about a conference in Uganda in January. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a global movement of spiritually hungry leaders, executives, and entrepreneurs who are ready to start building their platforms on business strategies and leadership strategies that come from Jesus Christ.